Hello, and thanks very much for participating today in our webcast on Overtime Final Rule and FLSA implications for financial institutions. My name is Sharon Jeffries, and I am a Human Resources Manager with Young & Associates. I bring to Young & Associates over 20 years of experience in all areas of human resources management. I have been with Young & Associates since 1999 and currently am involved in the oversight and administration of the human resources efforts for the company. I can provide expertise to financial institutions in all aspects of human resources management, including offering solutions related to balancing the needs of the institution with the needs of the employees. In addition, I assist clients with executive searches and interim management staffing needs. One final comment. In my 20 years of human resources management, I have not seen a piece of employment legislation like this that is going to have such an immediate and a lasting effect to businesses across the country. Let's get into the focus of our webcast today. We are first going to provide you a legislative background, a refresher on the current Fair Labor Standards Act. Subsequently, we're referring to it as the FLSA. Considerations as it relates to exempt employees. Then we're going to go into the changes based on the overtime final rule, specifically related to those positions that are currently classified as exempt. Then we're going to get into the next steps. From this, you will be able to take the information we are providing to you and create a plan toward compliance of this new rule. We will give you some options. Please keep in mind, this is not a one-size-fits-all final overtime rule. We're going to offer you several options for you to consider. It will be for you and your management team, your board of directors, to decide which option or options, plural, is best for your institution. We will then get into the recommendations for implementation with least disruption to business as usual, taking into consideration costs. And finally, we will talk about the impact of this legislation moving forward. What does this new rule mean for your financial institution? And you can see there the reference point. Who is it going to affect? Well, it's going to affect organizations with an annual gross volume of sales made or business done of $500,000 or more are covered and bound by the terms of the FLSA and thus this new overtime rule. Other verbiage you'll see talks about businesses engaging in commerce. Within those organizations, the rule itself specifically targets or focuses on exempt employees. The group that it is most targeting are those that are called white-collar exempt employees. That would include executive, administrative, and professionals for those exemptions. And also, we will be talking about the highly compensated employees. So that is the group primarily that is targeted by the changes in the overtime final rule. Why was it amended? Our current administration was concerned that workers are being paid a fair day's pay for a hard day's work. Studies show back in 1975 that approximately 60% of workers were eligible for overtime pay across the country. Fast forward that to 2016, those numbers have significantly dropped to 8% are eligible. The Department of Labor was instructed to simplify the regulation, bring it to today's terms, and ensure that the overtime protections have been fully implemented. As you can see on this illustration, which was prepared by the Department of Labor, it includes an estimate of how many workers broken down by each state are going to be eligible for overtime pay under the new final overtime rule. As you can see from the illustration, there is no one state that is going to be exempted from this rule. When does it go into effect? December 1st of 2016. One additional comment on that, you should ensure that any required changes will be effective before the start of the pay period that includes December 1st, 2016. Let me review that. That is a fine detail you may want to record. We are suggesting that you would ensure that any required changes will be effective before the start of the pay period that includes December 1st of 2016. Why should you care? First off is the compliance of wage and hour laws. The penalties for misclassification of employees are stiff and include such things as fines, back pay, and litigation. There are additional expenses with this new rule as a result of the overtime changes, other administrative changes, restructuring, etc. And we're going to get into some of those options. And lastly, there will be a morale and a perception of demotion to non-exempt status concern. There is a perception in the world that exempt status carries more prestige than non-exempt status.